bro. I'm telling you. You just wanna skip school. You don't want to be there. You're taking the easiest classes. You don't want to be there. You're done. You're done with high school. And especially if you were like me and you knew you weren't going to college, and I called it out on teachers all the time that I'm not going to college. I straight up told them that. And it's crazy though. Before in high school, I did want to do that, and then I realized I goof off too much in class. Why?
Let's get started.
Another video, another one. Alright, today we are going to talk about high school. Man, high school feels so long ago now. It's like, I don't know, I graduated in 2020, so it's been 6 years I've been out. I know, people been out longer. I know people been out shorter. That's just life, but like, I'm going to talk about it. High school, let's be honest, it feels different for everybody. Some people can peak in high school. Sometimes high school can be like one of the best moments in people's life, the most social aspect. Like you were on the football team, you were in clubs, you were class president, you were straight A student, you got all the good grades, you had all the friends, you had that amazing friend group. Let me just say this: it all ends. It does. It literally all ends eventually. So if you get bullied in high school, if you have a bad time in high school, guess what? It's just 4 years, okay? Like that stuff, it flies by. Somebody said it best that when you're in school, the minutes feel long, but the years feel short. And that is one of the most best sayings that can ever explain it. That all of a sudden that you can just graduate and it can all be over. Um, Again, sadly though, here's the thing: if you peak so much in high school and that was the best moments of your life, you are never gonna let it go. That is gonna be your whole entire persona, your whole entire life. That all you can talk about is that winning touchdown that you did back in high school. That, oh, I could have went to this college, this school, and be a star athlete, but I hurt my ankle my senior year. Um, you're gonna you're gonna hold on to the past so much if you peaked. But I'm telling you this: if you are like me, that like, yeah, I had some good moments in high school, but at the same time, you actually didn't like it that much, where you didn't experience the high school life that a lot of people did. Guess what? It's gonna be so much better when you're after high school, because you're not gonna see those people that used to make fun of you. You're not gonna see those people that you used to thought was the coolest people anymore, and then you realize that they're just as normal as you. Um, I didn't go to high school parties. I wasn't in any clubs in school. I was on the track team. I wasn't the most popular kid. I mean, yeah, I had some classes where I was a class clown, but again, I wasn't like, you didn't see me in the halls and underclassmen were like, yeah, that's Corey, man. I want to be just like him. It wasn't like that. I mean, yeah, some people were like, Corey, what's up, bro? Like, yeah, I mean, that was it. Again, I wouldn't say I was Mr. Popular. And when I was in school, I kind of wish I was. We all fought over that popularity. But now that I'm out or been out, it's kind of like I'm glad I wasn't. My high school experience was my high school experience. That was my life. That was my past. That was mine. For a while I was kind of holding on to it, like, dang, I wish I did this. I wish I was more like this in high school, but at the same time, you can't change the past and look at who you became. You know, I tell a lot of people this. If you knew high school me, you wouldn't have expected me being in a church. You wouldn't expect me being the follower of Christ that I am today. That I am trying to turn my whole life around. I am still struggling with depression and anxiety, and I bet in school that you wouldn't have known that I was fighting those demons. Because we hit it so well and we don't hide those feelings. But when we're older, we kind of have to if we want to be better. Some people take it out on alcoholism when they're older. People get into drugs in high school and get addicted to it after high school. Same thing with drinking and stuff like that. Addiction comes from your teenage years sometimes, most of the time. But besides the point, we are going to talk about real fast about my grades, my experience, or my high school life real fast, and then I'll talk some more. But freshman year, it feels so long ago now. I was 15 when I went into my high school experience. I had my sister who was a senior at that time, and it was very nice to actually have her kind of walk me around, basically, of how to like know the school and stuff like that. Um, and she even helped me out. She used to also like let me sit at her lunch table, which was kind of cool, but of her. Um, but at the same time, though, like that freshman year, it feels so different. You look at seniors where you're just like you think that they remember in sixth grade how I was in sixth grade. You look at eighth graders like they are like adults basically. Same thing with freshman year. It's just like you look at them with their facial hair and how they walk around the hall so confident and stuff like that. And you're just like, I can't wait to be a senior. My senior year, my senior year, my senior year. That's all you can talk about. That's all you can say. You're just like, but you get picked on for being a freshman. You get called annoying and stuff like that. You don't. I was this way too. I was like, dang, why everyone thinks I'm like so annoying because I'm a freshman, yada yada yada. Why does everyone think freshmen are annoying? We are annoying. Or freshmen are annoying. Let's be honest here. You're obnoxious. You still act like an eighth grader, a middle schooler, basically. You're still immature. You still don't understand high school, which that is not on you. You are still new. A lot of freshmen are. They're still only 14. Um, we're all experience life a little different. Now we're gonna roll around sophomore year. When they say you're the middle, remember in time when I talk about my middle school era, when they say seventh graders are the middle childs, let's be honest here, sophomores are the middle child, dude. Teachers don't give a crap about you, dude. You're sophomores. It's honestly whatever. You're no longer a freshman, but that's honestly a chill year, dude. Like sophomore year, honestly was I had a lot going on at home and stuff like that. I went on my medication finally. I struggled in class, of course, because I couldn't sit still. Always talking, always on my phone. I remember, sorry for like just basically going off track, of course, like I always do. But I remember my sophomore year, me and my friends, we had this group chat where we played a bunch of iMessage games. Bro, I kid you not, that's all I was doing in English class was just playing, like, history classes, just playing, like, iMessage games, like crazy, dude. No wonder why I struggled in school. But yeah, like I said though, sophomore year is literally the year where you're not really thinking about college. Like, yeah, some people are and stuff like that. You're not really thinking about your senior year yet that much. Because you're just like, I'm a sophomore, bro. Like, what's up? I'm no longer a freshman. You kind of, I feel like in a way, you kind of like found those friends your freshman year. So now you guys are sophomores. And I don't know. I was a social, well, I'm always social butterfly, but like I was a total social butterfly my sophomore year. I had so many friends. I was just goofing off a lot. And I just got to talk about this real fast. Like I said, I went off my medication my sophomore year, so I was a completely different person than from my freshman year. So I remember there was a few times where teachers, I was joking around, I was just talking, I was constantly, I couldn't sit still and stuff like that. It was very different from me than being my freshman year, and this is why I'm talking about medication, how different it makes you. I remember a teacher pulling me to the side and asking, "What is up with you? Like, why are you acting like this?" And I'll agree with him, like, oh, shoot, like, yeah, I was different. But at the same time, this is me. This is how I actually act. Okay? Like, I don't just sit there like a zombie when I'm at home. And that's the problem with medication, in my opinion. Unless you have anger issues and you're throwing desk, yes, put the kid on medication or needs something. But like a kid has ADHD and can't sit still and can't stop talking, okay, like that's just how they are. I remember I used to get called out on teachers all the time to basically tell me to shut up. Um, this was the same year that I think I mentioned this on the pod that I had so much going on at home, and a teacher goes, "Take it out on your parent." It's just blows my mind that a teacher can even say that, because it's like you don't know what's going on at home. What happened to that kid didn't even have a parent? I mean, I did. I'm very grateful, but still, it was just it was chaotic on what some teachers said. But we are human. We accidentally let it slip sometimes, but still. But yeah, no, my sophomore year. But other than that, though, I remember just it was chill, dude. That was my middle child era, dude. Like, no one cared, bro. No one pushed you to do anything. Um, that's where we roll around junior year. Junior year is a different type of year, man. I remember I had two best friends that year. Um, I remember one friend kind of stopped showing up to school, and my other friend moved across the country. Remember, I like this one girl too. Um, and it just basically all fell apart at the end of my junior year. So that just kind of was like, oh, like I thought I had a good thing going. So yeah, junior year is, I don't really know how to explain it. You're like, you're stuck. You know, you kind of miss that sophomore era where you could give a crap about anything, and you were only 16 or 15, and you know you're just thinking about getting your license and a job and stuff like that. Also towards the end of sophomore years when I got my job, but at Dairy Queen. And then I worked at Dairy Queen throughout my junior and senior year. So that was a little different too. That I was balancing work and school and stuff like that. Which to me personally, I think when you're in high school, I think you should have a job and you should learn how to balance work and school, because that helps you out in the future. Um, but yeah, no, I like I said, junior year they push college so much that year too, especially with the ACTs where they want you to do so better. That is the most one thing I do not miss about high school is the test taking, dude. The worrying about if you're gonna fail it or whatever. I remember it was my junior year. It was I had a D minus. I had a 60%. Okay, if you go under 60, that counts as an F, and that's failing. So I had finals. And I was like, dude, if I fail this finals, I fail like ecology. I hated science class, dude. I didn't like any science classes, bro. I thought it was gonna be like the TV shows. Oh, we're gonna get on that subject later, actually. But like, I kid you not, I did not like science class, any of them. Um, but no, I thought, and thank God, I prayed about it, and I passed. I passed with I think it was a 62% or something like that. But yeah, thank you God. So still D minus, but I still passed the class, and I had to take science or math my senior year. Now we're rolling around senior year. One of the best feelings to be during in high school, being a senior, just saying that to everybody, like, yeah, I'm a senior. Oh, I'm a senior, bro. I'm a senior. Everyone thought I was a freshman with how young I look, and acted, which I don't blame them. But yeah, um, yeah, no, it rolls around senior year. You just you have senioritis is the most legit thing, bro. I'm telling you. You just you wanna skip school. You don't want to be there. You taking the easiest classes. You don't want to be there. You're done. You're done with high school. And especially if you were like me and you knew you weren't going to college, and I called it out on teachers all the time that I'm not going to college. I straight up told them that. And it's crazy though. Before in high school, I did want to do that, and then I realized I goof off too much in class. Why do I want to sit there and pay people and take classes for fun or not wanting to know what I want to do? I told myself that I want to work. I'm a hands-on person, and I want to make money. And that's what I did after high school. I found a job just for me that does that, and I'm grateful. Um, now I'm doing that I wanted to do. But besides the point though, um, senior year, like I said, senioritis is one of the most legit things. I did have a pretty decent time. I graduated in 2020. My senior year got cut short. That a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. To me, that was a blessing. Um, because I wanted to just be done with it. and 3 months, I got out 3 months early, basically. But besides the point, what I was just gonna say with this episode about the TV shows and movies too, they make high school like the best feeling ever, dude. I only went to homecoming one time in my entire life, and I didn't have such a good time. I still had that weird awkwardness to me that I didn't want to dance in front of people. Why was I there? I have no clue. But yeah, I still had that weird awkwardness, but I outgrew it now because I go to concerts all the time. But still, um, movies make prom and homecoming one of the best feelings ever. I'm sure it is to a lot of people, and I am glad if you do enjoy that, or if you get a group, or you get your special somebody. I respect that. To me personally, I think TV and movie hypes up high school way too much, and they're putting stuff in people's heads because it is nothing like TV. You know what I mean? Like you're not like I thought TV. I thought in science class you're gonna blow stuff up, yada yada yada. You don't have that crazy science teacher, that mean English teacher. It's not real life. I know movies fantasize everything, but yeah. Besides the point, if you're going into high school and stuff like that, enjoy the time while it lasts, dude. Make the moment counts. I was one of those kids that kind of was like, no, that club is lame. No, this and that. Like, I'm not doing that. Dude, join that club if you want to join it. Okay? Who cares on who's in that club? Who cares if people are going to judge you? If you want to do that, do that. I kind of wish I joined the hip hop club, dude. I loved hip hop in school. Why I didn't join it is because I thought clubs were lame. Because I thought I was cool. I wasn't cool, dude. If you want to do it, then do it. Um, but yeah, no, and in high school too, I should have gave it up to God more. Should have trusted Him more. Um, I feel like a lot of us are one of the biggest sinners in high school because you just got that teenager mind where you don't want to listen. Yeah. But besides the point though, um, high school, I take middle school over high school. That's just my opinion. But I'm glad you guys listened to this. Next week we are gonna talk about being out of high school and basically it's starting over. Life is starting over. But I'll see you guys. Peace.